36. Late Night Chat. Kate. I can't shake the image of the dead girls from my head. Their desecrated corpses, the blood of their deaths and their rapes. We've known we're not alone in Arcata. We've seen evidence of that firsthand. Hell, Carter has been held at gunpoint twice. But even that pales when I think of the girls. What if there are other girls like them out there? I can't sit by and do nothing. I toss and turn, unable to sleep. I wish I could scrub today from my brain. I fumble for the flashlight and rise. An hour or two in the stairwell will help me sleep. I shine the light around, searching for my shoes. The beam glances off the kitchen table, illuminating the black rectangle of Johnny's ham radio. I cross the room and plop in front of it, resting my forehead in my hands. I wonder if I could talk to someone. It would be so nice to talk to another adult. I can't dump my fears on Carter or any of the other kids, but a stranger is another story. I flip on the radio, turning the dial experimentally. Hello? Anyone there? I ask. Static answers me. I try a few more times, but reach no one. I notice a scrap of paper taped to the top of the ham. There are numbers on the scrap, and next to the numbers, names. Foot soldier. Alvarez's name leaps out at me, a barely legible pencil smudge in the dark. Not really expecting to get a response, I turn the dial to the corresponding channel. Hello? Foot soldier, are you there? It's Kate. As expected, I get nothing. I let out an exasperated huff. It's the middle of the night. Normal people are asleep right now. I need my stairwell. As I retrieve my shoes from underneath the table, I hear a crunch of static.
Kate? It's Foot Soldier. Over.
I snatch up the ham receiver. Hello? Alvarez?
Hey, Kate. What are you doing up? Over.
Now that I have him on the other end, I feel self-conscious for reaching out. I can't sleep. Today I saw something and it wasn't pretty. I know I'm supposed to use official language like over and Roger, but I don't have the energy. On top of that, I don't really know the etiquette like Johnny does.
I feel you,
comes Alvarez's reply.
There's a lot of messed up shit out there. What was it?
A knot of tension builds in my chest. Are you sure you want to hear? It's awful. A long pause.
On my way to Fort Ross, I took shelter in a campground during a storm. I found an abandoned tent and crawled inside to wait out the rain. When I left the next morning, I realized the tent wasn't there because the owners had left in a rush.
Emotion tinges his voice.
The owners had hung themselves. A couple. They shot their 3 kids, then hung themselves.
I press the heel of my hand into my forehead. God, things are so fucked up.
I understand, Kate,
Alvarez says.
I really do.
Slowly, haltingly, I relate the horror of today. What started out as a simple mission to find some research books turned into a nightmare. We found the books, I finish. A dry, bitter laugh climbs out of my throat. Tears press against the back of my eyes. Jenna is going to read up on gardening and put together some bullet points for you.
That's nice of her,
Alvarez says.
Kate, I'm sorry you had to see that. It's fucked up.
I don't think fucked up begins to cover it.
Yeah, I know. There are no words. Not really.
A long pause.
You know that whoever hurt those girls is out there, right?
I know. Damn it, I know. I feel like we should have surveillance cameras and private security, you know? But we can't get any of that shit.
Do you have a plan?
Sort of. It involves going to the place where I think the bad guys are holed up.
Okay. And then what?
And then what? I haven't let myself think that far along. I just keep thinking there might be more girls like the ones we found. What if they have them chained to a bed or locked in a closet or something?
I think,
Alvarez says,
that you need to take a few steps back, Kate. There are people out there who raped and murdered those girls. Stop for a minute and swallow that. What are you going to do if you come up against them? Do you have a gun?
My stomach turns. I feel like an idiot. I convinced myself there are more girls out there that need rescuing. Maybe I'm the one who needs rescuing. From myself. We have 2 guns. I don't explain how we came to be in possession of them.
If you decide to track them down, you do it because you need to clean house. Don't get caught up worrying about victims that may or may not exist.
He's right. I feel myself hardening as I realize what tomorrow might have in store. Because I am going to College Creek tomorrow.
Kate? You still there?
I'm here. Thanks for listening.
Anytime. Will you radio me tomorrow? I want to know you guys are okay. I sleep better at night knowing there are good people still out there.
I nod, before I remember he can't see me. Yeah, I'll radio. I'm going to try to sleep now. My eyes feel heavy. The talk really did help. Good night, foot soldier.
Good night, Kate.
"37. College Creek. Jenna. I feel my body evolving. The first few days of Kate's workout left me so sore it was difficult to get out of bed. And if I felt sore and achy, I can only imagine how bad everyone else felt, especially the guys like Eric and Reed who made the act of being a couch potato into an art form. Kate promised us it would get easier. She was right. We're only 2 weeks into our workout routine, but already I feel stronger. In the beginning, 20 minutes of running with the weighted packs made me want to roll on the floor and pass out. Now, after 40 minutes, I feel like I can easily do more. I'm grateful for the newfound strength. It might very well come in handy today. In less than an hour, we're headed to College Creek. I dread the outing. The timer dings. Carter and I head down to the first floor for our last interval. Thank God Kate got rid of the bodies after the first day and replaced them with various pieces of furniture. The vending machine is a bit hard to get over, but I'll take it over a rotting body any day.
I've been thinking more about security,
Carter says as we begin our exercises. We can converse during our workouts now, something that hadn't been possible in the beginning.
How so?
I ask.
I think we should see if we can find the keys for some of the other dorm rooms so we can lock them.
I don't relish the thought of going through the dead bodies to find keys.
Why?
I ask.
To lock up our supplies? Exactly. We need to start taking more precautions.
How far my boyfriend has come. from denying the apocalypse to chief security planner for our group. If you want to go through bodies and look for keys, I'll help you, I say. But you have to find me a pair of rubber gloves and a surgical mask.
Deal, babe.
We're leaving soon, Kate calls, poking her head in through the stairwell door. The whole gang has decided to come. Except for Lila, of course. A short time later, we're in clean clothes pulled from a neighboring dorm. One of these days, Eric is going to get the solar panel installed for the washing machine, with weapons on our belts. I lace up a pair of sturdy hiking boots. Kate, I notice, puts on her running shoes. When she isn't barefoot in the dorm, she wears her running shoes. I want my ankles protected, even if it means I'll run slower. College Creek borders the big playing field on the southern side of campus where several hundred zombies are corralled. They're trapped inside the wrought iron fence that surrounds the field. I'm not sure why the military didn't wipe them out like they did other large bodies of infected. I don't even want to go to College Creek. It's not the wisest way we could spend our day. Although I have to credit Kate for wanting to make sure no one out there needs help. Where Kate goes, Carter goes. Where Carter and Kate go, I go. Today there's no banter as we make our way through campus. A light rain falls. I scan the depot warily as we pass by, looking for signs of Ryan or the other College Creek kids. I do the same at the library. Both buildings stare back at us in blank-faced silence. The next time we come this way, I vow to get the dead soldier off the tree. For some reason, looking at his body is more disturbing than all the other bodies.
Hold up.
Carter raises a hand to halt us.
Listen. Do you hear that?
Adrenaline pumps through my body, making my breathing rapid and harsh. I hold my breath and strain my ears.
Zombies,
Kate says. Sure enough, a murmur of moans peppers the air.
Where are they coming from?
Johnny asks.
South?
Carter asks. We inch together to form a tight cluster. The longer I listen, the more moans I hear. There are a lot of zombies out there. South, I agree after a few minutes. Could it be the ones in the field? Seems most likely, Kate says. We move slow and cautious. If we spot trouble, we turn back around. Now that's a plan. We slip through campus, creeping along between the buildings and drawing ever closer to College Creek. I take out my weapons, the skin along the back of my neck itching with nerves.
Am I the only one who feels like this part of campus is different?
Eric asks. No, I agree. It's different. And it's not just the bodies we see everywhere. The backdrop of all the moaning makes it impossible to forget we risk our lives with every step we take.
There.
Carter points to a 3-story building that comes into sight as we round a corner.
College Creek.
College Creek apartments are the newest dorms on campus. They were the nice, more expensive dorms. Kids who wanted a room to themselves generally lived in College Creek, where each suite boasted 3 single rooms. Carter, on student loans, chose the older, more affordable housing. I took one look at the pretty stucco buildings and knew I didn't want to live in them. They reminded me too much of my high school in Southern California. I came to Humboldt to get away from those memories. Even though my cosmetic surgeon father offered to pay for more expensive lodging, I picked Creekside. And since I met Carter there, I know it was the right decision. I'm doubly grateful when my eyes take in the charred half of College Creek. Fire took the rooms on the right-hand side of the long building. The part still standing is stained with soot. I see a few partially burned bodies on the ground. I shiver, inching closer to Carter.
This way.
To my shock, Kate draws a handgun. She'd hidden it in the waistband of her pants and covered it with her shirt. It's one of the guns she took from Mr. Rosario's people.
Mom, what's that for?
Carter asks. Just in case. Kate pauses, her gaze sweeping over us. You guys can stay here if you want. I'll check it out and let you know if it's clear.
No way,
Carter says. The rest of us echo his protest. She gives us a tight nod before heading toward College Creek.
Have your weapons out,
she tells us.
Be ready for anything.
College Creek is rectangular. In the center of the building is a big courtyard with seating areas and tables. Where once we would have seen kids hanging out or doing homework, we now see bodies. Lots of them. Bullet casings glint in the dull light and crunch underfoot. Vultures study us with their beady eyes. When they determine we aren't here to take their food, they go back to their feasting. The moaning is louder here in the courtyard. Legs tense, ready to run if necessary, I scan the surrounding area. Where are all the zombies?
They're on the other side of the fence. Look.
Carter raises a hand, pointing with his knife. I follow the line of his hand. Across the courtyard are 2 breezeways that lead onto the playing field. That's where the zombies are. The wrought iron gates erected in front of the breezeways effectively cut the zombies off from the rest of the campus.
That looks like a disaster waiting to happen,
Johnny hisses, staring at the zombies milling on the other side of the fence.
Horror story disaster. It's like the smoking gun on the mantel.
What smoking gun? Reed asks.
It's a figure of speech,
Johnny says. He means they could smash through that fence if they mob it, I explain, and then we'd be screwed because the whole campus would be overrun. I feel even less safe than I did a few minutes ago, and I haven't felt safe since we made the decision to come here. We stay away from the fence and don't incite them. Kate replies.
Come on.
You haven't seen enough? Johnny asks.
Far from it.
Kate gestures with her chin. I look across the courtyard to where she indicates.
Fuck me,
Carter murmurs. I bump up against him as he grinds to a halt. There, nailed to a door with knives, is another dead soldier. His body is pierced with 2 long knives through the shoulder blades, just like the one at the depot. His throat is slit, a dried river of blood running down the front of his fatigues. "38. Death. Kate." The gore doesn't stop at the dead soldier. Scattered around him are 6 bodies of college kids. Like the girls we found in the library, these are newly dead. The rain has streaked the blood, turning it into red swirling patterns that fan out around the bodies. Their clothes are wet and wrinkled from exposure to the constant rain. Blood pounds in my ears as I take in the death. I'm too late. The words flash through my mind. Some part of me knows these are the kids I wanted to save. They were slaughtered by whoever it was that murdered the girls in the library.
Mom? I think we should go home now.
I turned to look at Carter and the others. Bringing them here was a mistake. I should have come alone.
Those College Creek kids you met in the depot, I say. Do you guys remember what they looked like?
I do, Jenna says. Carter nods.
Do you see any of them here?
I gesture to the bodies. They inch forward, Eric and Johnny with them. Several of the dead lay face down. Using my foot, I turn them over so we can get a good look at them. There's a fat boy, a skinny boy, and another kid covered with acne. The rest of the dead are all girls. I count 8 altogether. My eyes sweep to the dead soldier nailed to the door. He's older, with gray stubble and the beginnings of wrinkles around his eyes and mouth. A veteran of probably more than one war. And yet someone got the drop on him.
I don't see Ryan or the others,
Carter says. You think they did this? Jenna whispers.
They mutilated those zombies in the depot,
Eric says. While I agree that mutilating zombies takes a special person, I don't think that necessarily means they're the ones who killed all these kids. For one thing, these kids look like they were killed with 2 shots, one in the head and one in the chest. Average college kids aren't such good shots. We should go. Jenna glances in the direction of the fence, at the thin rods of iron that separate us from a field of zombies. I itch to go into the building, to hunt down whoever murdered these kids. But even I have to admit that would be a colossally stupid idea. I knew things could be bad, but I hadn't expected to find so many dead. Something tells me this wasn't the work of 1 or 2 college kids. There's someone else hurting people. Could it be men of Granjero or Mr. Rosario? Just the thought makes my blood pressure boil. Let's go back, I murmur. I have 1 gun and 5 living kids with me. If there are armed people inside, we don't need to be going in there. Wait. Jenna takes a few steps away from us. I want to take him down. She gestures to the soldier nailed to the door. It's messed up.
No,
Carter says.
There's nothing we can do for him. I agree with Carter,
Johnny says.
Evidence suggests we should get the fuck out of here.
Jenna's eyes blaze. I don't know what it is, but something about the hanging body has her more worked up than the bodies on the ground. I can see by the stubborn set of her jaw that she isn't going to budge on this. Let's make it fast. I gesture to her, striding toward the door. I've taken only 2 steps when a shot rings out. The ground in front of me sends up a puff of cement from the impact of the bullet.
Stop right there, motherfuckers.
The voice echoes through the open courtyard. I freeze, palms sweaty around the handle of the gun. A chorus of moans rises from beyond the fence line.
What are you doing here?
The voice calls. Can you keep your voice down? I whisper shout. You're upsetting the natives? I scan the building, searching for the owner of the voice.
Answer the question.
A cluster of zombies bumps up against the fence. Jenna and Carter clutch each other, while Johnny, Reed, and Eric gather behind them. They all cast nervous looks in the direction of the fence. We found 2 dead girls in the library, I say, voice shaking with rage and fear. Is this the asshole who murdered those girls? Cold sweat drenches my back. My hands tremble from the force of the adrenaline hammering through my body. They lived in College Creek. Do you know anything about that? Silence stretches. My breathing is loud in my ears, rasping in and out through my nose. I spot movement on a 2nd-story balcony only 50 yards from where we stand. A man is crouched behind a barbecue, some sort of machine gun balanced across the top of it. All I can see of him is a forehead, eyes, and brownish-gray crew cut. When he finally speaks, his question surprises me.
What were the girls wearing?
I couldn't tell you, I reply. There was too much blood. We came here to see if there was anyone else in trouble. I gesture to the bodies with my screwdriver hand. I think we're too late. Another long pause. then the soft scrape of the machine gun as it's lifted from the barbecue. A man in military fatigues stands, revealing himself on the balcony. He's too far away for me to see the details of his face, but from this distance I'd gauge him to be in his late 40s or early 50s.
"We were both too late,"
he replies.
"The fuckers who did this got away."
The fury in his voice settles me. It is not the fury of a man who murders young men and women. It's a fury that resonates inside me, echoes my own thoughts and feelings. "Tell me who did this," I grind out. "I'll kill them with my bare hands if I have to. Anything to keep Carter and the kids safe." My eyes meet those of the soldier across the distance. He gives a small shake of his head.
"I don't know where they went,"
he says,
"but I intend to hunt them down. Every last one of them."
"I can help." He barks a laugh.
"Get out of here. Stay out of sight and watch your backs."
"Tell me who did this."
"Soldiers. Stay away from anyone in military uniform. If you meet them, it'll be too late for you."
39. Gift. Jenna. Something fundamental changes in us after College Creek. Every one of us throws ourselves into fortifying Creekside. We dismantle bookshelves and nail planks over every window on the first floor. Carter and Eric pull together enough scraps to build a real door for the front entry, complete with a security bar to hold it in place. No more flimsy, swinging glass doors for us. The Xbox hasn't been turned on once. Eric, Reed, and Johnny make a trip to the depot to retrieve several solar panels. We finally have a working washing machine. We still have to fill it with water from the creek, but that's a small price to pay for clean clothes. Carter and I do indeed venture out into the pile of bodies to search for keys to other dorm rooms. Shockingly, we manage to find 3 for Creekside. All our food and supplies are now behind locked doors. Lila and Eric have teamed up on the hydroponics project. She's buried herself in the library books while Eric hooks grow lights up to the solar panels. A trip to a neighboring dorm produced the grow lights. Reed had known a few guys who grew pot in their closets. I think there's something going on between Eric and Lila. Even when they're not working on the hydroponics project, they spend a lot of time together. They still argue and bicker over just about everything, but it has a good-natured edge to it. All this progress and preparation hasn't done anything to lift the pall that hangs over our group. Gone is the friendly banter. It feels like we're waiting for the other shoe to drop. At least things between Carter and I have returned to normal. I feel like I can handle anything the world throws at me if we're together. "Will you help me get water for the washing machine?" I ask him. I'm dying to get out of our somber dorm room, even if it's only for a trip to the creek and back. Besides that, I have a surprise for him.
"Sure, babe,"
he says.
"Let's go."
Outside, the air is clean and fresh from a recent rainfall. Out here, under the trees, I can almost imagine we don't live in a world of death and monsters. All this should make me feel more relaxed, but I can't shake the feeling of a looming threat. When we reach the creek, I reach into the back pocket of my pants and pull out a folded piece of paper. "Here, I drew this for you." Carter unfolds it, eyes taking in the graphite lines that outline the shape of a beer label. The word obstacle is drawn in angular script. A runner leaps over what looks like a track hurdle. Upon closer inspection, the hurdle reveals itself to be made from bones and body parts.
"It's perfect,"
he breathes. We can still have Ultra Brew, I tell him. Maybe it won't be what we planned, but it's still ours. I step closer to him. I feel complete when I'm with you, Carter. With or without our brewery. I'm sorry I ever made you feel differently.
Babe.
He draws me against his chest.
We're past that now. It was just a misunderstanding.
I know, but I'm still sorry I hurt you. He cups my face in his hands and kisses me.
It's behind us.
He looks down, studying my face.
I want to try something. Will you close your eyes?
Okay. I lower my lids, even though standing in the forest with my eyes closed is far from my comfort zone. We stand there in silence, me with my eyes closed and Carter with his thumbs caressing my cheeks.
You're beautiful,
He whispers. My eyes snap open. His thumbs never stop moving over my cheeks.
Those words are meant to be a compliment, babe. That's it. You're beautiful. I've decided I'm going to say it whenever I feel like it. You're going to have to learn to deal with it.
I lower my gaze. It's just my stupid childhood baggage.
I know. I'm going to help you get past it, starting today. You're beautiful, Jenna. Inside and out. I love you.
I love you, too. The emotion of the moment is almost too much to bear. It's like a giant boulder sitting on my chest. I have to say something to dislodge it before I end up in tears. You're just feeling mushy because I shaved my armpits. He chuckles, once again folding me against his chest.
You got me. Once you got rid of the armpit hair, you went from hot to steaming hot.
You're pretty hot yourself, Carter Stevenson. He raises a teasing eyebrow.
Even without the beard?
You are, hands down, the hottest boyfriend I've ever had. Although, I think I like you beardless most of all. I don't have to worry about a zombie grabbing your face.
I guess that's a good thing, isn't it?
It's definitely a good thing. I like you with your face. We stand together beside the creek, just holding each other. When we finally fill the water tote and head back to Creekside, I realize I'm even more in love with Carter than ever before. I promised to help your mom take apart some desks, I tell him. Now that we've managed to find enough furniture to board up all the windows on the first floor of Creekside, Kate has moved on to a new project. She wants to try building a garden bed for Eric and Lila.
I'll help you guys,
Carter says. Don't you have plans to... 7 people step around the side of the building to intercept us. 4 of them are dressed in military fatigues. The other 3 are college boys. I recognize them as the College Creek kids we ran into at the depot on our beer run. Ryan, Adam, and Henry were their names.
There you are,
says Ryan, leveling a gun at us with a smirk.
You guys don't live in Pepperwood. No, we don't,
Carter says, voice flat.
I'm hurt you didn't trust us,
Ryan says.
We are, after all, schoolmates.
If that really means anything to you, lower your gun, I reply. Ryan's smile curls as he studies me. The look makes my skin crawl. He doesn't lower his gun. "40. Tithe. Kate." I sit in the living room on the 3rd floor, a hammer in one hand and a screwdriver in the other. In front of me are 2 desks. I need to figure out a way to take them apart and reassemble them into a growing bed for Lila and Eric's hydroponics nursery. I could really use a saw, I mutter, staring down at the desks. I already tried using the screwdriver to separate the back from the shelves. All I managed to do was bend the screwdriver. A scream, followed by a shout and a gunshot, brings my head whipping up. I mentally trace the sound. It doesn't take a genius to deduce it came from downstairs. I'm on top of our living room. I fly down to the second floor. Every instinct screams at me to rip open the stairwell door and rush to our apartment. I don't. Instead, I press my ear against the door, listening. One voice carries, loud and commanding, but I can't make out the words. I crack the door. The hallway is empty. The door to our apartment stands wide open. I inch my way down the hall, hefting the knife I always carry. "Now, assholes," booms a voice. "Fill our boxes, or we take this pretty little honey right now in front of all of you."
"No!"
Lila's voice is shrill with panic.
"Let me go!"
A chill seeps through my body. This is not good. I think of the guns stashed under the sofa. If we survive the next few minutes, I make a silent vow to wear one at all times. I scuttle down the hallway and peek around the open doorway. I expect to see Mr. Rosario's homeless vagabonds. Instead, I see 4 soldiers and 3 college boys, all of them with guns raised. Not a single one looks older than 21 or 22. The college boys look even younger. Carter, Jenna, Johnny, Reed, and Eric are in the kitchen, yanking open cupboards and pulling out precious food. They load the food into several large plastic totes on the kitchen table. Lila is pinned to the floor by one of the soldiers, a gun to the back of her neck.
"That's right," says the boy pinning Lila. "Load 'em up. Make sure you throw in those bottles of booze. We don't care if they're mostly empty, do we, boys?"
Chuckles bubble up from the rest of the armed boys. Several of them let their eyes wander freely over Jenna as she stands on her toes to pull food off a top shelf.
"Hey, Ryan," Jenna says. "Is this how you repay us for giving you a keg of beer?"
Ryan. I remember that name. This is one of the College Creek boys they met at the depot. One of the college kids, presumably Ryan, leers at Jenna.
"You're lucky we were feeling neighborly that night," he replies. "We could have taken both kegs. And then some."
What he means by "and then some" is clear by the way he looks Jenna up and down. It makes me want to scratch the kid's eyeballs out.
"You lied to us," Ryan continues. "You said you lived in Pepperwood. Imagine our surprise when we went there for a visit. All we found is a bunch of undead fuckers."
"You weren't easy to find," says the boy pinning Lila to the ground.
"It wasn't until one of you idiots thought it was a good idea to smoke pot on the roof that we found you."
His grin is feral.
"Thank God for idiots."
I am going to kill Eric. Or Reed. Maybe both of them for good measure. Which dumb fuck thought it was a good idea to get high on the roof? It doesn't take a genius to figure out what's going on. We're being robbed at gunpoint, and if we don't give these guys what they want, they'll take Lila instead. Could these be the people who raped those girls and murdered the College Creek kids? The old soldier told us to be on the lookout for other soldiers. He hadn't said anything about a combined group of students and soldiers.
"Maybe I'll take your friend here, just so you don't forget who's in charge," continues the young soldier.
He pulls Lila up by the hips and grinds himself against her.
"You'd like that, wouldn't you?"
Lila whimpers. I want to be sick.
"Let her go."
Eric balls his fists and glares at the soldier boy with Lila.
"We're getting you your supplies. You don't have to hurt her."
"Who's in charge here, motherfucker?" the soldier demands.
"I only meant—"
Ryan strides forward, shoving the barrel of his gun in Eric's nose.
"You're not being useful. We have no need of people who aren't useful."
I sense the situation careening out of control. Taking a deep breath, I stride into the room and assume my best mom voice. "I think everyone can put their guns down. Right fucking now," I say. Terror pounds through me, but I march right into the midst of the commotion and plant myself in the middle of the room. Hands on my hips, I glare down at the kid pinning Lila. His baby face is covered with acne. His name tag reads Johnson. "We'll fill your boxes." I gesture to the large crates sitting on the kitchen table. Carter, Jenna, Reed, Eric, and Johnny scurry to fill them. "You're scaring my friend. Please let her up. There's no need to terrorize her. None of us is going to fight you."
"Damn right you're not going to fight us,"
the boy sneers at me.
"Brandy is our favorite. It'll earn you extra points if you remember that."
"Will you please let my friend up? You can see we're complying." The boy's eyes narrow. For a moment, I fear he's going to hurt Lila just to prove a point.
"Sir, it would be a gesture of goodwill to let up the girl."
Another soldier steps forward. The badge on his uniform reads Roberts. His handsome dark face reveals nothing as he faces off with Johnson.
"They are complying with our demands." "Whose side are you on?"
Ryan asks. Roberts tilts his head at Ryan.
"Our side. We want tithers, remember? These guys won't be tithers if we hurt them."
Tithers. I have a sinking feeling I know what that means.
"Whatever," Johnson says. "This bitch is annoying me anyway. She'll change her tune once she gets to know me."
He leans forward, raking his tongue along the back of her neck. When Lila chokes on a sob, he laughs. Only then does he rise and remove the gun from the back of her head. As soon as she's freed, Lila scrambles to a far corner and huddles in a tight ball. Johnson watches her, a leer on his face. Ryan looks disgusted. Robert's eyes flick to mine for a split second. I sense he's trying to tell me something, but I don't know what. I hold out my hand, speaking loudly to draw Johnson's attention away from Lila. "My name is Kate. And you are?" The kid hesitates, then extends his hand.
"Private First Class Johnson."
He shakes my hand. I consider trying to negotiate some of our food back, then decide against it. The most important thing is to get this group out of here. We can figure out the food situation later. At least they haven't found our real stash in the room across the hall.
"That's it,"
Johnny says.
"They're full."
"Take the stuff and go," I say. Johnson narrows his eyes.
"I say when we go."
He struts over to the plastic totes, riffling through the contents.
"Nice," he says at length. "I can see you were being generous. Keep that up, and we won't have a problem."
Johnson signals to the other soldiers and college kids, confirming to me that he's the ringleader. Even Ryan complies with his instructions. Everyone holsters their weapons. They grab the crates, retreating to the door with their stolen larder. The bottles of alcohol clink inside.
"Just so you know, the university is ours," Johnson says. "Anyone living here must pay a tithe. We'll be coming around once a week to have our crates filled. If you can't pay, we'll take our tithe another way."
He throws a dirty leer at Lila. She shrinks back in on herself. "Fine," I say, moving to block Johnson's view of Lila. "We'll have your tithe." Carter shifts behind me. I sense his rising argument. I give him my most severe mom look, the one reserved for lies, missed curfews, and bad grades. And, apparently, for telling my son to back down when there are men holding us at gunpoint. Carter snaps his mouth closed and keeps quiet. "We'll be back in a week," Johnson drawls. "Make sure you have enough supplies to fill our crates." The last look he casts on Lila is a warning. "Come on, brothers. We're done here for the night." Johnson and his lackeys file out. Roberts flashes me an apologetic grimace before he slips out last. He, at least, doesn't agree with what Johnson is doing. As soon as the last soldier is out, I slam the door and lock it. I spin around, looking at my ashen-faced kids. Lila bursts into tears, crying quietly into her knees as she huddles against the wall. Jenna hurries to her side and slips an arm around her shoulders. Eric joins her, flanking Lila on the other side. "How did they get through our front door?" I ask. "They were lying in wait," Jenna says. "Carter and I went outside to get water, and they pounced on us, held us at gunpoint, and forced us back inside." I close my eyes, struggling to tamp down my rage.
"What are we going to do?" Eric asks. "We can't just hand over a shitload of stuff every week."
Even though I agree with Eric, I don't reply. I don't know what to say that won't make the situation worse.
"Do you, by any chance, have a tip for dealing with bad guys in that Thrive book you're writing?" Carter asks.
Johnny shakes his head.
"No? But I bet this is the group that College Creek gunman warned us about. I guess he didn't take care of them like he said he was going to."
"He's probably dead, I think. One thing is certain. This arrangement with Johnson can only go one direction. Down. He'll demand more and more of us over time. Eventually he'll take everything. Possibly even kill us. Or worse. Being under Johnson's thumb is bad. Very bad." "41. Hazing. Kate." I don't have a solid plan in my head when I retrieve the gun from under the sofa. I slide it into the back waistband of my pants. When I slip outside after Johnson and the others, leaving the kids to argue about how we're going to scavenge enough food to keep Johnson's crew off our backs, all I know is that I need to find him. I want to know where that motherfucker sleeps. Once outside, it's easy to find Johnson and his lackeys. They make enough noise to draw the dead. Literally. It's dusk. There are no streetlights anymore, making it easy to find concealment as I tail them. I hug the side of the road, taking cover behind the tall redwoods that grow along the street. Talking loudly, Johnson and the boys pass one of our bottles of booze between them.
"Did you see the way those pussies ran around like mice?" says Ryan. "You did good work in there." Johnson claps him on the shoulder. "They knew who was in charge." "Incoming!" calls one of the soldiers. 3 zombies stagger toward them, arms outspread as they grope their way forward. The group moves back toward the center of the road where there are no obstacles. "Let me waste these fuckers."
Another college kid draws his gun.
"Don't be an idiot, Henry," Johnson snaps. "Gunfire just draws more of them. Use your knife." "Cut his balls off," says a 3rd college kid. "Dude, Adam, you cut off his balls," snaps Henry.
Adam straightens.
"Watch this."
Raising his knife, he advances on the 3 zombies.
"Ryan,"
he calls over his shoulder.
Get the one on the right. I'll take care of these two.
Ryan shrugs, passing the booze bottle to one of his companions. He draws a knife. Casually, he strolls forward and dispatches his assigned zombie with a blade through the head.
"I want to see balls, Adam," Johnson says.
Adam cuts through the first zombie, letting the body fall to the ground with a thud. By the time his attention shifts to the remaining monster, the beast has zeroed in on him. Letting out a moan, it charges and knocks Adam to the ground. Roberts takes a step forward, but Johnson flings out a hand to stop him.
"Let Adam show us what he's made of."
Even in the dark, I see the strain in Robert's body as he watches the scene unfold. It's clear he wants to help. I can't say the same for the rest of the boys. They watch the scene with sick glee, grinning at one another as they pass the bottle between them.
"Get that fucker!"
cheers one of the boys.
"Get his balls!"
says another. Adam thrashes underneath the zombie, grunting as the creature snaps his teeth and goes for his throat. The boy manages to wedge one fist against the zombie's chest and roll. The zombie crashes sideways. Adam's knife finds its way into the beast's temple. The boys break into applause. Someone hands Adam the bottle.
"Not so fast,"
Johnson says, snatching back the bottle.
"Show us his balls, Adam."
Adam hesitates before turning back to the corpse. I look away. When the cheering of the boys starts again, I have no doubt that Adam has indeed produced zombie testicles.
"Now you're really one of us,"
Johnson tells Adam. They continue down Granite Avenue, laughing and heckling one another. I wait until their voices become indistinct before following. A light rain starts to fall, soaking my clothes within minutes. Idiot. I should have thought to grab a jacket. I try to imagine Federico here with me.
"Suck it up, Buttercup,"
he'd say. The soldiers disappear into one of the frat houses at the end of the street. From the front, no one would be able to tell people are living inside. There's no trash outside. The windows are blacked out. Johnson has done a good job disguising their occupation. I'll give him credit for that. Even as I shiver to think how close it is to Creekside. It's dumb luck they didn't find us before. I crouch behind decomposing bodies as the group clomps around to the back of the house. As soon as they're out of sight, I hurry after them. The back of the house looks pretty much like you'd expect the yard of a frat house to look. Lots of lawn chairs and sofas, many of them faded from years of use. Multiple barbecues. At the back is a stage with lights. Trash is everywhere. Some of it is in bags, but most is loose. Most of it is discarded cans and food packaging. Kneeling in the darkness, I watch and listen. There isn't much to be heard, but there is the occasional creak of floorboards or the sound of a raised voice. I steal closer, stepping onto the porch. A refrigerator sits next to the door, along with a collection of battered wooden chairs. The house is old, a relic from the early 1900s. The redwood, even after all these years, is solid beneath my feet. A few of the steps creak, which makes me pause in alarm, but no one inside notices. I press my ear against the back door. Inside comes the muffled sound of voices and music. They're having a party. They extort us, terrorize us, and threaten us. Then throw a party. I understand the sickos we're dealing with. Now I just have to figure out my next move. Foot soldier, this is Kate. Are you there? Over. I sit alone in the living room, staring at the cluttered kitchen table. By now, everyone has gone to bed. A blanket drapes across my shoulders as I hunch over the ham radio. Foot soldier? I know, it's the middle of the night. I've never been a great sleeper. Over? No response. I think of Carter. See his frantic, worried eyes when I returned home a few hours ago.
"Mom, where have you been?"
he demanded. Out, I replied, unsure how much I wanted to share.
"Out where?"
Just out. I needed to think.
"You can't go out alone," he said. "It's not safe. You see that, right?"
My son. I love him so much. I care about all these kids. I need to figure out a way to keep them safe. Scenes from the day replay in my head. I see Johnson grinding himself against Lila. I see Johnson coercing Adam into a sick, apocalyptic hazing ritual. We'll be back in a week. Make sure you have enough supplies to fill our crates. How long will we be able to keep those crates filled? How long before they demand more? How long before Johnson just takes the other things he wants?
"Kate, is that you? Over?"
I close my eyes, raising the ham to my mouth. Foot soldier. Yeah. It's me.
"What are you doing up? Over?"
We had a run-in with some bad guys today.
"What kind of bad guys?"
Alvarez drops the official radio talk. The kind you would expect in an apocalypse, I reply, swallowing. They're bad people. A long pause.
"You can come here. You know you have an open invitation."
I've looked at the maps. There's no way to get to Fort Ross without backtracking down Highway 101 for 100 miles. 101 is a death trap. Another long pause.
"Then you have to work something out."
I know. My words come out as a whisper. It's just, I'm not coming up with anything that doesn't involve murder. My words float around me in the darkness, made real and tangible now that I've let them out of my mouth.
"I've been where you are,"
Alvarez says.
"I know, Kate. I know. My journey to Fort Ross was hard."
I squeeze my eyes shut. Alvarez has made hard choices too. Knowing this makes me feel not so alone.
"But it wasn't all bad,"
Alvarez continues.
"I met some good people. Some of them seemed like bad people at first, but they were just scared. Maybe your situation isn't as bad as you think it is."
I can't bring myself to describe Johnson with Lila, or the hazing incident with Adam. They aren't pictures I want to paint. But not all the kids are dark. Roberts wasn't like Johnson. Maybe there are others like Roberts.
"Here's something to consider,"
Alvarez says.
"Human beings are few and far between. We can use friends more than we can use enemies. Maybe you can find a middle ground with these guys."
I don't know. They held us at gunpoint.
"I held you at gunpoint when we first met."
That brings a smile to my face. I'd forgotten about that. Actually, you tackled us to the ground. Then you held us at gunpoint.
"Whatever. My point is, look how it turned out for us. Don't write these guys off because of one encounter."
What if you're wrong? I ask. I don't think these guys are like you. I think they may have raped and killed. A long stretch of silence follows this statement.
"Are you sure?"
he asks at length. Mostly sure. Alvarez lets out a long sigh.
If you're right, you only have one choice. Survival can be shitty. Feel things out. You can do this, Kate.
I hope so, I whisper back. God, I hope so. "42. Assignments. Kate. How's Lila? I ask when Jenna and Carter emerge the next morning. Jenna shakes her head. She won't look at us. She has her head covered up with the blankets. The poor girl was borderline agoraphobic before our run-in with Johnson. No doubt that will be worse after last night. I need you guys to scavenge today, I tell Carter and Jenna, showing them the pieces of paper before me. Each is labeled with the name of the 4 other dorms in the complex where we live: Juniper, Fern, Laurel, and Willow. These buildings need to be cleared and inventoried, I say. Start with Fern today. Clear the rooms. Make a list of everything you find, but don't bring anything back here. Carter takes the paper and pen from me.
This is for our tithe, isn't it?
I nod, jaw clenched. We don't want to be caught without enough food to fill their bins, but I don't want them to know how much we have. Do your workouts, then head to Fern. Oh, and one more thing. If you find a bottle of brandy, bring it back to me. Johnny, Eric, and Reed wander out an hour later, rubbing at their eyes. I have a job for you today, I announce, not giving them a chance to flop onto the sofa or go for the food.
What sort of job?
Reed asks. Clearance. I hand them a sheet of paper with the name Willow written across the top. It's another neighboring dorm. The boys get the same instructions I gave Jenna and Carter. Clear out Willow. Make a list of everything you find that might be useful to us.
But
Johnny frowns at me.
Is that the best use of our time? Shouldn't we be packing up our stuff and leaving Creekside?
Where are we going to go? I ask him. Traveling is more dangerous than staying here, and Creekside is our home. You guys cleared this place and made it safe. It's fortified and well-stocked. We're not letting anyone take it away from us.
Okay.
Johnny draws out the words, studying my face.
Whatever you say, Kate.
Search for a bottle of brandy, I say. If you find one, bring it back.
What about Lila?
Eric asks. His gaze drifts to her closed bedroom door. I'll keep an eye on her, I say. She'll be okay. In the end, Eric leaves with the others. When I finally have everyone out of the apartment, I poke my head into Lila's room. She lays on her side in the bed, staring at the wall. Lila? I sit down next to her, resting one hand on her shoulder. How are you doing? She stares at the wall. Lila? Can I get you anything? She rolls over to look at me. Her almond eyes are puffy and unfocused. Her silky black hair is a messy halo around her face.
Do you know what it's like to be average in a family of geniuses?
Her question catches me by surprise. What?
Do you know what it's like to be average in a family of geniuses?
No, I don't. My family was pretty average. What is she trying to tell me?
I'm the youngest of 3 sisters, Lila replies. My oldest sister got a full academic ride to UC Berkeley. My middle sister got a tennis scholarship to Stanford. Guess where I got a scholarship to?
Humboldt?
Nowhere. I got a few dinky local scholarships, but nothing like my sister's. I was always the dull coin in our family. I was the one never mentioned to my aunties and uncles. But I have a plan. I studied articles on the cannabis industry in Colorado when that state legalized it. I know the money that was made by the people who got their foot in the door early. Cannabis is going to be legalized in all the states in the next decade. When I graduate from this place with my degree in botany, I'm going to start my own business with medicinal cannabis. I'm going to make more money than both my sisters. I'm going to give my mom something to brag about.
I search Lila's face. Her eyes are glassy, her skin pale. She hugs a pillow in her arms. She is dead serious. I know you'll make your mother proud, I reply, not knowing what else to say.
I don't care if she's proud.
Lila rolls away to once again face the wall.
I just want her to brag about me to my aunties and uncles. And I want to drive a Tesla to a family reunion.
I stare at Lila's back. She doesn't say anything else. When I finally lean over her to check, I see she's fallen asleep. The poor girl is cracking. I've seen the world chipping away at her day by day, but last night's run-in with Johnson has traumatized her. I don't know what to do. I'm no therapist. Alvarez's words run through my head. Survival can be shitty. It takes the kids 2 days to clear Fern and Willow. They manage to find not 1, not 2, but 3 bottles of brandy. They're all half empty, but that won't matter for my purposes.
Now what?
Carter asks me.
Should we start gathering up the supplies and bringing them back here?
Not yet. There are 2 more dorms to clear and inventory. I hand out 2 more sheets of paper, one labeled Juniper and one labeled Laurel.
Wouldn't it be better if we start transporting the food back here?
Jenna asks. Not yet, I say. We need to focus on inventory and clearance.
Do you need more brandy?
Reed asks. Nope. These 3 bottles are all I need. No one asks what I plan to do with them. They all remember Johnson likes brandy.
I guess you're right,
Johnny says.
We have enough stuff for when those jerks come back, though I'd feel better if the food were with us.
Trust me on this, I reply.
Come on, Carter.
Jenna takes his hand, tugging him toward the door.
Let's go. The zombies won't clear themselves.
After they leave, I take the list of Fern supplies and tuck it into my pocket. Next, I gather the 3 bottles of brandy. I carefully combine everything into a single bottle. When I'm finished, I have a single bottle of golden brown liquid. Just what Johnson likes. On an errand, I scrawl on a scrap of paper, leaving it on top of the ham radio where they're sure to see it. Be back later. Don't come looking for me. I drop trail mix, a flashlight, and 2 bottles of water into a backpack. The last thing I put inside is the brandy, wrapping it in a towel to protect it. I take one of the guns from my hiding place under the sofa and stash it in my jacket pocket. Then I leave Creekside. Carter won't be happy to find out I've gone out alone, but it can't be helped. I don't want to involve him or any of the others in my errand.